Hello, adventurers of the strange and seekers of the mysterious. If you love spine-chilling tales that send shivers down your spine and keep you on the edge of your seat, you've come to the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a story that'll keep you awake at night. Tonight, we journey into the depths of the unknown with a story that'll make you think twice before venturing into the wilderness alone. This is the tale of the Vanishing hiker. It started as an ordinary camping trip, a group of 6 friends eager to escape the hustle and bustle of the city for a weekend in the great outdoors. They had chosen a remote campsite deep in the heart of Redwood Forest, a place known for its towering trees and serene beauty. Armed with camping gear, laughter, and stories to share around the campfire, they were ready for an adventure. The first day was idyllic. The group spent their time setting up tents, exploring nearby trails, and marveling at the sheer majesty of the ancient trees. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, they gathered around the campfire, roasting marshmallows and sharing tales of urban legends. It was then, as the flames crackled and shadows danced among the trees, that they heard the crunch of footsteps approaching. A lone hiker emerged from the darkness, his face illuminated by the flickering firelight. He looked disheveled and tired, his clothes dirty and torn as if he had been wandering for days. His eyes darted nervously, scanning the group and the surrounding forest. "Excuse me," he said, his voice trembling. I'm lost. Can you help me?" The friends exchanged uneasy glances. There was something off about the hiker, though they couldn't quite put their finger on it. Still, they offered him water and asked him where he was trying to go. He described a trailhead that none of them recognized, claiming he'd been trying to find his way back for hours. When one of the friends offered to show him a map, he declined, shaking his head. "No, thank you," he muttered. I should keep moving." Before they could ask him any more questions, the hiker turned and walked back into the forest. His movements were eerily silent, his figure quickly swallowed by the shadows. Later that night, as the group settled into their tents, the forest seemed unnaturally quiet. The usual chorus of crickets and rustling leaves had been replaced by an oppressive silence. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath. Around midnight, the first voice called out, "Help me." It was faint at first, barely audible over the stillness. Then it came again, louder and more desperate. "Please, help me." One of the friends, Mark, sat up in his tent. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. The others stirred, their faces pale in the dim light of their flashlights. They all heard it now, the voice of the hiker calling for help. The strange thing was, the voice seemed to come from multiple directions at once. One moment it was to the east, the next to the west, then above them as if carried by the wind. "He must be in trouble," Sarah said, grabbing her flashlight. "We can't just ignore him." "Wait," Kevin interjected. "Something's not right. How can he be in so many places at once?" Despite Kevin's warnings, Sarah and Mark decided to investigate. They followed the voice into the forest, their flashlights slicing through the darkness. The others stayed behind, huddled together, their unease growing with every passing minute. As Sarah and Mark ventured deeper into the woods, the voice grew louder, more urgent. But no matter how far they walked, they couldn't find the source. The forest seemed to twist and shift around them, the trees towering like silent sentinels. Then they stumbled upon something that made their blood run cold. In a small clearing, illuminated by the pale light of the moon, lay a tattered backpack. It was old and covered in dirt, but what caught their attention was the name tag stitched onto it, Jack Monroe. Sarah gasped. "That's the name he gave us." As they examined the backpack, they noticed something else, a trail of footprints leading away from the clearing. The prints were uneven, as if the person had been limping. They decided to follow them, their hearts pounding in their chests. The trail led them to the base of an enormous tree. There, carved into the bark, was a symbol neither of them recognized, a circle with an X through it, surrounded by strange markings. Beneath the symbol was a single word, scratched hastily into the wood. Back at the campsite, the remaining friends were growing increasingly anxious. The voices had stopped, replaced by an eerie silence that was somehow worse. Suddenly, the fire flickered violently, as if disturbed by an unseen force. The air grew icy cold, and a low, guttural growl resonated through the clearing. "What was that?" Emily whispered, clutching Kevin's arm. Before anyone could answer, the figure of the hiker appeared at the edge of the firelight. But something was different this time. His eyes glowed an unnatural shade of yellow, and his mouth twisted into a sinister smile. "Thank you for inviting me in," he said, his voice layered with an otherworldly echo. The friends screamed as the hiker stepped closer, his form flickering like a distorted image on a broken screen. Just as he reached the fire, Sarah and Mark burst into the clearing, shouting warnings, but it was too late. The hiker let out a bone-chilling howl, and the fire extinguished in an instant, plunging them into darkness. When dawn broke, the forest was quiet again. The group, now scattered and disoriented, managed to find each other and make their way back to the trailhead. None of them could explain what had happened, and none dared to speak of the hiker or the voices again. Weeks later, a news report caught Kevin's attention. A body had been found in Redwood Forest, a man who had gone missing months ago. His name, Jack Monroe. To this day, the friends refuse to return to the forest, but they all agree on one thing. Whatever they encountered that night was not of this world, and sometimes the forest hides secrets that are better left undisturbed. Thank you for joining us for this spine-tingling tale. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And remember, the next time you hear a voice calling for help in the wilderness, think twice before answering. It might not be what it seems. Stay curious, stay cautious, and we'll see you in the next video.